President and CEO of Critical Business Analysis. I am here today with Dave Taylor from LoadSpring. I've worked in construction my whole life and recently transitioned over to the project controls, project management software arena. And today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. What is coming, what it means for our industry, and how is it being rolled out in the marketplace currently.
Hi, Holly. Thanks for having me. I'm Dave Taylor, LoadSpring's Chief Commercial Officer, and as the title might imply, I am responsible for the company's commercial strategy, marketing communications, and I work with the strategic account executive team to ensure that we surpass our customers' expectations. I've been with LoadSpring for a little bit more than 18 months, but I have been working in the data and digital transformation space since about 2002. I look forward to today's podcast.
Thank you. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today. One of the first things I want to start out with is what is AI? And I think there's a lot of definitions out there. So many people have an idea of what they think it means. So let's define what we want it to mean for the purposes of our discussion today.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw another definition at you because if you go online and you even ask AI, what is AI, you'll probably get 1,000 different definitions. AI simply is computer-assisted technology to help us accomplish whatever we need to. Now, AI was actually coined back in by a team of MIT researchers, and they basically meant it as computing intelligence. Right back then, a computer would help us do more work. Nowadays, it's involved in so much more than that, where we're actually finding out that AI is self-learning, and the way that people are developing AI agents into specialized AI. So today we'll be talking more about AI in project controls and project management. But suffice it to say, it's just utilizing technology to do our jobs better, faster, and with more accuracy.
One of the questions that I know is super important to the clients that we serve in the marketplace is how can they identify what really is AI and what is just fancy AI reports and dashboards or advanced reporting?
Yeah, I think there are probably a couple ways to detect an AI imposter and how to spot the real deal. I think number one is does it learn over time, right? Because real AI improves with use, right? It adjusts its output based on any new data or user interactions. Machine learning, fake AI, just kind of follows static rules. It may look really cool, but it's basically just an advanced calculator. The other thing is I think you have to determine, can it handle ambiguity or unstructured data? Real AI can make sense of messy inputs just very similar to the way a human can actually cut through the mess and try and figure out what's really going on. Whereas machine learning or other types of technology, it really needs the data absolutely clean, pre-structured, and it will throw an error when anything gets super fuzzy. And does it understand natural language, right? Can you actually just type in plain English without knowing programming language, ask it a question, and will it get a response back? Like ChatGPT and others like that. Machine learning or other types of programming really needs you to click through a menu or put in predefined commands, right, in order to actually get results out. And then lastly, real AI really can be predictive, right? It can surface future trends. It can provide you insights based on historic or at least near real-time data, whereas machine learning and other types of technology kind of just really reports on what happened, not necessarily the why it happened.
Those are super important points to expound upon. With a lot of people new to what is AI, is a great definition, and I think it's going to help a lot of people as they're going to expos and looking at products be able to be more educated on what is it that they're looking at. So many of the things I see out there is machine learning. It is super fancy reports, and it's being touted as AI. Something I'd like to dig a little bit deeper on is data cleaning and cleanliness of data and the difference in what you just discussed with what does machine learning and reporting need versus what does AI need. Both of them do need a certain amount of data structure and cleanliness to have really good outputs.
Yeah, absolutely. I just mentioned earlier that real AI does have the ability to move beyond unstructured data, dirty data, and surface what it finds. Now, right at this point in time, we utilize a lot of AI when it comes to structuring data, but we never just let the AI remediate the data. Right? We never let the AI just assume that everything it says is correct. So we always make sure that there's some sort of manual intervention step along the way. Using AI, for instance, to take a look at, let's say, 3 different scheduling applications. Let's say you have P6, you have Microsoft Project, you have Asta Power Project, right? And you're utilizing all 3 across your company for whatever reason. Well, those applications are 90% different, right? They're only 10% similar. So you can use AI to serve as kind of a data thesaurus that allows you to take information stored in each of the fields of the 3 applications and determine, is this particular piece of data the same as the piece of data in the other 2 applications. For instance, in P6, you're using the words reinforced concrete, spelled just like that. In Microsoft, it's just RC. It may be an Asta Power Project, it is XYZ123. We don't know, right? But AI can be used to crawl data dictionaries, field layouts, and create a thesaurus of sense that can then throw it back to a human who will look at it and say, we believe these 3 fields are the same based off of cost per weight, delivery methods, whatever it finds that are similar, right? And allow the human to say, yes, these are in fact the same thing. AI can then learn from that, so as it goes through the rest of the fields, the rest of the databases and cleansing, it will improve over time and get more and more precise. But as of right now, we do not let AI just simply remediate the data because there could be errors. But it can be used as a tool in part of the data cleansing. But we prefer to have as clean data as possible before we start throwing any kind of analytics, BI analytics or AI analytics on top of our data. If a tool claims to be AI, but it can't explain its logic, right? It can't improve with use or start to predict outcomes, then it's not AI. It's technology dressed up using marketing glitter, marketing language. I think you've probably seen from our interactions with Elsie that when we serve up a response using AI to any of the project data that we work with, we actually provide the SQL code. We provide the SQL code and an explanation as to where the AI went to get the information, how it processed the information, and how it returned it. It's a simple way just to double check that AI is not hallucinating, because AI can hallucinate at times. Doesn't mean to, it just thinks it's going to the right place to get the data. And it is really up to those people who understand the data structures and understand project controls to say, yes, the AI went to the right place, its logic is sound, so therefore the answer must be sound. So most non-AI tools will not let you look under the hood.
That's a super important point to make, especially for the people who are charged with evaluating an AI product. They may not have any idea what AI can and cannot do. They are new to this industry just like everyone else, but the one thing that they could ask is the transparency. Where is it pulling the information from? How is it delivering it and gathering it? And I think that's a super powerful question for people who are in their companies charged with trying to make these decisions.
I think part of that also involves, and you just stated, where is it coming from? So if you just take Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude or any of the really great AI sources out there, and you just throw it on top of your data, it will sometimes look through your data but also try and go out and find other information that's available. It will sometimes go out and find information outside of your project data, and that could increase the likelihood of hallucinations because it's pulling information from places other than your data. When we talk about project controls, project management AI, our preference is to keep the AI and the AI agents exclusively within the realm of your data, to only have access of your data. So when we do AI work, as you know, Holly, we design our agents so that it's going to answer questions about your project data in a very controlled environment where your data sits. It's not going to be able to answer questions about what the weather's going to be like tomorrow or who won the football game this weekend, right? Because it does not go out to the general internet. It only focuses on the data set in which it's pointed to, which is your project data. So I think that's another thing, that if you're evaluating AI, where are the sources? Is it just my data? Is it other people's data? Then you have to start thinking about data privacy You have to start thinking about issues of allowing your data and or reporting to go out in the general internet, and you have to be super careful there.
I totally agree. That is what's preventing some people from moving forward, is that concern about security, which is one of the reasons that I think LoadSpring's product insights and LC is going to be so powerful as an industry leader, because it is secure and it is specific and it's written with that security in mind of keeping our clients' data,
Yeah.
and available for them to use.
Well, I think it really comes down to specialization, right? AI started off as this general artificial intelligence, but what you're seeing over time are companies are starting to develop AI for specific purposes, right? It's almost like AI's gone out and gotten a job, and if they're a banker AI, they know banking, and if they are a farmer AI, they know all about farming, but they're not, and it's more powerful that way because they can gather knowledge quicker, they can learn quicker, and then they can get more industry specific. Even things like nomenclature. Try taking some project controls and project management nomenclature and acronyms and throwing that into general ChatGPT and seeing what you get back, right? Float in project controls is very different than float in other places. As I mentioned, I'm actually on board today and I am floating on the Chesapeake Bay, but it has nothing to do with float when it comes to project controls. So there are some subtleties that I think people have to be very careful with when they're making the evaluation. That being said, don't be afraid of AI. I mean, it is here to stay. You have to embrace it, and people in project controls and project management have to embrace AI. It's going to make their jobs easier. Not necessarily replace them, but certainly make their jobs easier, better, and faster.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing from a straight project controls scheduling aspect of being able to comb through the data instead of it taking days or weeks or having to make my own notes. It's done in minutes. You know, it's not building a schedule for me yet, but once it gets to that point, instead of spending weeks building a schedule, it's going to be a few days. It's going to just make things a lot faster and easier.
Yeah, you're going to move from executing on administrative type tasks to overseeing the work of your AI employees, right? Everybody's going to turn into a true manager, and you're going to simply oversee the work that you've asked all of your AI and all your AI agents to execute on your behalf. If you're really good at it, you're going to ask it to execute in the way that you would execute it, and then maybe add its flavor to it to show you potentially new ways of thinking about it. But it's a companion. It's a companion to you.
For sure. I think that's the most exciting part about AI, is the ability to have something that understands what you are talking about and being responsive.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing a demo earlier this week for a customer, and they have a very powerful analytics team. They have a very powerful business analytics team and business intelligence team. And when I was demoing using, the chat features, we asked a question of their project data, and it gave an answer, right? It told us how many activities had a negative float, let's just say. Usually in a Power BI report, you'd be able to see how many there were, and maybe you can double click, drill down to the actual activities, and it stops there, right? But with AI, you can read a result, do some investigation and some thinking, interrogate to the next level, get an answer back, something seems interesting there, interrogate to the next level, and continue to go down this wormhole until you get the actual answer that makes sense to you or fulfills whatever your question was originally. You don't have to stop at 3 levels down in terms of drill down, right? You can go down forever, and you can take twists and turns along that path. It doesn't have to follow a logical sequence of just getting granular, more granular, more granular. You actually can start moving off to the left or the right and not just going straight down. So that's where the power is going to be for project controls professionals and project managers. They're going to be able to know everything there is to know about their project, what's going on, what's going wrong, what's going right in an instant, as opposed to having to wait till the reports are run next Monday and not getting what they need, and then asking for more reports, and it taking 2 to 3 weeks to get the new reports, testing them, right? So much fun.